What is going on, guys? My name is Tubby, and people are like, Tubby, we want you to do the results videos, and I'm going to, from now on, because that's what people obviously want, as I focus more on WWE and some other stuff. We're taking a look at 1/30/2012. What a good night on Monday Night Raw. Overall, it was kind of a boring show, but I thought it went pretty good. And I'm sorry if there's spoilers, guys. One of the biggest things when you're trying to drive traffic, you know, the title gets you, and sometimes I may spoil it too, guys. I do apologize. If that is a problem and you don't like getting spoilers, feel free to unsub or just hide it, and you know what, I do apologize, but let's get into it. The show started off, of course, with John Laurinaitis, and they were talking about Royal Rumble and building it up. Laurinaitis comes out, talks about how he's done a good job, he admits mistakes, blah, 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 and because Triple H is there tonight for the job review, and he was talking about the Royal Rumble, how he called it right down the middle, and then he announced the Elimination Chamber. Now, this was announced earlier on in the day on WWE.com. It's CM Punk, Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, The Miz, R-Truth, and Chris Jericho. What a shitty Elimination Chamber, except for Chris Jericho and CM Punk, and even Dolph Ziggler. You know, R-Truth and Kofi, you know what, R-Truth out, and they didn't let him in, I don't think. I'm pretty sure that's what happened last year, but... and then also he announces Miz versus Kofi, Ziggler versus Randy Orton, Eve Torres versus Beth Phoenix, and of course, champion versus champion, Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk. Now, because of the Triple H coming, it was scheduled for the 10 o'clock hour or the 9 o'clock hour in my time, and that match was amazing. We'll get that in a second. After that, you know, CM Punk came out and was chanting, na 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 na, hey, goodbye, because Laurinaitis, you know, was probably going to be fired tonight. And then came out Daniel Bryan talking about it, and then that's when he announced the matches. And then Sheamus came out, the winner of the 2012 Royal Rumble, and, you know, told a story, blah, blah, blah. That ended it. First match of the night was Randy Orton versus Dolph Ziggler. I thought it was a good match, you know. Dolph Ziggler's beat Randy Orton a couple times to put him over, and some of them have been dirty wins, but overall it was a good match. Randy Orton picked up the victory. And then, but before, it was kind of weird. Wade Barrett was in a press box talking to Josh Matthews, which is, I don't really understand what happened. And then slowly come were the main events. But also, you know what? There were some still shots from the Royal Rumble that we saw from Kane's attack. And yeah, I don't really like the still shots, but you know what? And Laurinaitis is pretty funny. He greets William Regal behind stage because he was trying to suck up and ask William Regal, how's his son doing? And he's like, I have daughters. I don't know what you're talking about. And then Brodus Clay, the Funkasaurus versus Tyler Rex. Once again, a squash match. Brodus wins. You know what? What are you going to do? And then came time for CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan. Now, a lot of people had mixed results on whether they liked this match or they hated this match. Me, personally, I was loving this match. There's a lot of times where when you get into technical wrestling on WWE, I'm not used to seeing it, so therefore it's technically boring. But overall, I thought this was a really good match. It went back and forth. There was a lot of unpredictable things, you know, but near the end, Bryan went for the label lock. Punk slide out. Punk put him, catapulted Bryan into the turnbuckle, and then Chris Jericho came out, throws Bryan out into the barrier. Jericho enters and hits Punk with a codebreaker. The ref calls for the bell. Chris Jericho leaves, and Daniel Bryan's with the title, still celebrating, saying he won because he won by disqualification. And yes, there we go. There we go. We get the start of the feud between Chris Jericho and CM Punk. Now all you guys can be like, I called it. You know, even though a lot of people were expecting it. Also, excuse me, guys, I've been sick. They also announced that Mike Tyson was inducted to the Hall of Fame as a legend, and people don't understand there's a difference between legends and the regular Hall of Fame. People are like, Mike doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Well, the media coverage around when he was involved with the WrestleMania was huge. You know, just like when Drew Carey was in the Royal Rumble and they inducted Drew Carey in, it's a legend thing. It's not necessarily that a huge impact constantly in the WWE. And then came time for Kofi Kingston versus The Miz. And, you know, Miz was bragging about being in about 45 minutes, and they went back and forth, and I was kind of disappointed. They're trying to build up Kofi Kingston because, you know, he's in the Elimination Chamber, so they don't want to see him, you know, look weak. He won with the Trouble in Paradise, but it makes me like, didn't The Miz beat Kofi last year like 3 times? What are you doing? R-Truth was ringside, and, you know, they didn't really do anything. David Otunga and John Laurinaitis after that were talking backstage. Laurinaitis asked Otunga if he was out for his job, and Otunga says, don't worry, he's got it taken care of. And then came time for the title match between Eve Torres and Beth Phoenix. If you guys remember, they were supposed to have a title match before Royal Rumble, but Kane interfered. And then tonight, Eve was so worried about Kane, and she was looking around, and she just went on an attack at Beth right away, but then Beth, within a minute, basically took her down, hit her with a glam slam, and she won. And then Kane, his music dropped, and then she's looking around, she's all scared. She plays a message, and he says that he's going to keep beating Zack Ryder until Cena beats up the hate. And then he's going to, because he's not here, I'm going to go after you. And then music drops. She's looking around, the cameras are panning. He's standing behind her, goes in. He's walking over to her, and Cena's music comes. Cena comes out, beats the shit out of Kane, hit him with a steel step 4 times, like, keep getting up, and I'm going to keep knocking you down. Takes off the table, was going to put an attitude adjustment through the table, but Kane is able to kick out, and basically runs away, and runs and hides. And Cena kind of goes crazy, but he's still staying face Cena. And then came time for the big announcement. It was John Laurinaitis who's out there talking about it. Triple H comes out, and he was messing with him, and John Laurinaitis said he would do anything he wants. He was saying he'd give himself a 5-star rating on 1 through 5 on how he's done. Triple H was laughing, having a good time, making fun of it. I thought it was awesome, and John Laurinaitis said, I'll do anything, and Triple H was like, we'll get the crowd to go for you. The crowd was so fucking loud, it was unbelievable how much they hated Johnny. And he's like, you know what? Vince used to do a thing, if you want to get in it, a Kiss My Ass Club. And John gets on his knees, puts chapstick on, gets on his knees. Triple H is sitting in the corner with his ass, and he comes over, starts laughing, and Johnny Laurinaitis, you really gonna do it, you poor pathetic man? You seriously gonna do it? And I thought it was hilarious. He's like, you think I'd let those lips get anywhere near my butt? I don't know where they've been. Absolutely hilarious. They went back and forth a little bit, and it just made me funny. And then Triple H, as he was about to fire him, what happens, guys? Undertaker's music drops, huge fucking surprise, and I guess I should have been expecting it considering Triple H was coming back. He had told Laurinaitis that, you know what, the board of directors said I could come back as Raw GM because my personal issues are out of the way, so I'm perfectly fine to do it. So John Laurinaitis, I wish you your best in your future. And then the music played, he came out, they stared at each other like they did last year for about 3 to 4 minutes, kept looking up at the sign, Undertaker did, but then Triple H patted Undertaker on his shoulder, and was like, it's kind of like a nope, no thank you, walks out, and Undertaker was like, what the hell? So that actually opens up the possibility of, again, Undertaker versus Triple H like people were talking about. It also opens the possibility that maybe it won't happen and maybe somebody else will face Undertaker. Either way, I was kind of disappointed because I'm going to be at Elimination Chamber and the Monday Night Raw after, and I was hoping to see Undertaker. But guys, there was the Raw results video. My name is Tubby. Hit a like. Guys, Tubby out.